beyond the lane, beyond the lane. The analyst in debate, facts and figures seal our fate. Questions linger in the air, Nige will answer if he dare. Beyond the lane, Nige is there to start the game. Like and subscribe, share the fame. Beyond the lane, feel the rush in every scene. Moments captured, oh so key. Acts won't change the way he plays. The Spurs DANalyst is here to stay. Tune in for what we bring. If good debate and chat's your thing, keep on pushing to the top, cause Pure Coys will never stop. Every fall with every cheer, every argument we fear. The DANalyst and Pure Coys are here to make a lot of noise. Beyond the lane, a brand new show. Tune in to help us grow. Every Tuesday night at 8. Join the chat and don't be late. The DANalyst in debate, facts and figures seal our fate. Questions linger in the air, Nige will answer if he dares. Beyond the lane, Nige is there to start the game. Like and subscribe, share the fame. Beyond the lane, the DANalyst in debate, facts and figures seal our fate. Questions linger in the air, Nige will answer if he dare. Beyond the lane, Nige is there to start the game. Like and subscribe, share the fame. Beyond the lane, feel the rush in every scene. Moments captured, oh so key. Acts won't change the way.
Hey there, welcome to Beyond the Lane, episode 3, and welcome to my co-host, Dan. Dan, how's it going, mate?
How you doing, Nige? How's your day been, mate? You good?
It's been okay. Not too bad at all. What about yours?
Yeah, man. It's been a good day, mate. Still buzzing from the weekend's result. So yeah, looking forward to getting into it tonight.
Good. Before we start, I just got a couple of housekeeping things to sort. Please like, please subscribe. Also go over to Dan's channel at the Spurs DANalyst. Like and subscribe to him as well. I think we are streaming on both channels tonight. So fingers crossed it goes out. And I got to do a special mention tonight for my bestie, Jess, who is struggling a little bit. So much love to you. Keep your head up. It will get better. Okay, let's talk Tottenham. And obviously we've not really spoke since the Carling Cup draw. And obviously we got Manchester City at home. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it was a bit disappointing, wasn't it? I mean, the home draw, great, but pulling Manchester United is that. Well, we were talking nice, weren't we? We wanted Barrow, didn't we? I mean, I know they were out now, but we wanted a lower level team. And,
exactly.
It was just a bit disappointing to get Man City, but I mean, it's a big game. It's something to look forward to, and I don't think Manchester City are going to play a strong team. That's what I'm hearing from Pep. I think he's not really too bothered about that cup. So big chance for us if we go strong and get through. It's not definitely that we're going to lose it.
That's the thing though, is it? Are Spurs going to go strong? Man City will rest players, no doubt, but even if they rest players, they've still got a fantastic team. What about Spurs? Do you think they're going to go strong, or do you think we will rest players?
I think it will go strong. Pretty strong.
Yeah.
It's a big game, isn't it? Like, what's the date of it? It's end of October, right? I think it's around the 28th.
It's around the 28th, 29th, yeah, I think.
And have you looked at the fixtures around that game?
I haven't actually, no. No, I think we've got a couple of league games, haven't we, in between?
Yeah, so it'd be good to see who we're playing, because that will make a difference then, won't it? What sort of lineup we're going to play?
Pretty certain we've got Villa on one of the weekends.
I'm just going to have a little look now, just while we're talking about it. What's your thoughts on it, though, Nige?
Again, it's a draw I didn't want. I would have, a home draw is what you want, isn't it? But Man City was the one I wanted to miss. But we seem to get them a lot in the cups, don't we? It seems to be Man City. We got them in the FA Cup last year. Obviously, in the Champions League, we seem to draw them a lot.
We do.
They're there for the taking. I think we got every chance, but
So the games leading up to that, we have a game on the 27th of October against Palace,
Yeah.
and then after Man City, we've got Villa at home. So yeah, good games to play. Palace away will be tricky, and Villa at home will be a tough game. They're all tough games really at the moment, aren't they, Nige? Really, you need to look at the fixtures. There's not really any gimmies, is there?
There's not an easy game in the Premier League. I know it's obvious to say, but take a look at Sunday, for instance. I thought that was going to be a really tough game. Ended up being one of our easier games. So yeah, I think Man City are going to be a tough nut to crack. But I think listen, if we're going to win a cup, we're going to have to play them at some point. So we might as well get it done and hopefully field a strong side and go through. But let's talk about
a couple of people in the chat.
Yeah, go for it, mate.
Big up, Mad Dog. How you doing? Also, big up to Jessica as well, and Alex as well. Big up, Alex. Hope you're all doing good.
Yeah, any questions, please feel free to ask. We will get to them as and when we can. We'll start them and get back to them at the end. Absolutely, we are winning the league. Come on. Yeah, let's get into the United game because it's not often we can be super happy, but I think this game certainly has made me super happy. Let's have a look at the teams to start with. This was the United team. It was Onana, Mazraoui, Martinez, De Ligt, Dalot, Ugarte, Mainu, Fernandes, Rashford, Xerxes, and Garnacho. If you look at that team, Dan, that's a pretty strong team, isn't it?
I think it's almost their first choice team. You could talk about the young centre back who's injured, who they signed for a lot of money, but it's pretty strong for Man U. I think. I don't know. Is anyone missing? I don't think there is.
No, I mean, I looked at that team when it come up on Sunday and I'm like, oh, typical. United have fielded literally their strongest team of the season against us. And on paper, that team was absolutely littered with stars. De Ligt is a good centre-half. He's played for Bayern Munich. He's played for Juve. He's played for Ajax. He's no mug. And yeah, when I saw the team, especially with Ugarte in as well, I'm like, this is the kind of player that I wanted us to sign. And I was concerned. I must admit, I was really concerned. But you look at the Spurs side, and obviously there was one obvious absentee. Usual back five of Vicario, Porro, Romero, Van der Ven, and Udogie. Midfield three of Bentancur, Kulu, and Maddison. And then Solanke, Werner, and Johnson. Obviously, Sonny was out. What do you think of the Spurs team?
Yeah, I was happy with the midfield. I was kind of for him playing Kulu and Maddison. I think it's been working really well when they play together. And I wanted to see Kulu get a run in the team in that position. Not just come in and out like 1 or 2 games and then go back to the right. I wanted him to kind of get a good run, up to 10 games, getting used to that position. And I think it's working really well. Obviously, Werner, we all know about him. But who else could have played on that left? I mean, if it was me, if I was the manager, I'd be putting in more instead of Werner. But, looks like Ange's hands are tied with that. But yeah, other than that, Brendan Johnson was in good form, 3 goals in 3 games, so he had to start. Yeah, it was, it's what it was really. I don't think there's much more we could have really done to that lineup. Maybe Bissouma for Bentancur. But again, Bentancur, he's going to have that ban coming up soon, so got to play him while we can.
Yeah, no, I was really surprised and pleasantly surprised. I half expected Ange to play Bissouma and Bentancur, and maybe that's pure stupidity from my part, thinking that Ange would go a bit more pragmatic. But yeah, I was surprised to see Kulu and Maddison, but I was pleasantly surprised. I think Kulu has been fantastic in the middle of the park. He's a totally different player, isn't he, than what he was out on the right. So yeah, more than happy. And Werner, when he's on 160, 170 grand a week, he's going to have to play when Sonny's out, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. And you heard about Wilson today. He's out for another 6 weeks. So we're going to be seeing a lot of Werner. Well, Son will be back, hopefully. But yeah,
we are.
Werner's going to be the option off the bench.
Yeah, no, exactly. So, actually getting into the game, how do you think Spurs played? Was it, obviously we took United apart, but was it that United were poor, or were Spurs really good, or was it a mixture of both for you?
Well, we came out flying out the blocks, didn't we? Chances,
Yeah,
chances, loads of chances. I mean, that early goal really helped, didn't it? Really, because whatever game plan Man United had went out the window. So that was quite pivotal to the game. But we got the goal. We kept on going. We kept on going. Kept on creating chances. I mean, I was getting a little bit frustrated. I've got to be honest, Nige, that we weren't getting another goal, and I just had it in the back of my head that Man United would nick one. Well, obviously they didn't, and we kept on going. And I mean, Nige, were you getting a little bit agitated there when all those chances were, we're kind of missing? There were so many.
yeah, it did feel a little bit like we were going to pay for the chances that we were missing. But it was just such a fantastic. It's so good to see Spurs like on the front foot. Not giving United time. I thought the pressing was the best I've seen it under Ange. I think we just didn't give them a minute. United were giving the ball away a lot, but I think that's down to Spurs just constantly in their faces. I don't think we give them time to do anything. And I just think United are a little bit, almost like a little bit of a team that is littered with stars that just don't know how to play together. It's almost like they've been, I think Jamie Redknapp said it, obviously he knows a lot about football. And he said that it's almost like they've just chucked a team there and said, go play. And there's just no structure or anything to it. I'm amazed because I just think United on paper are such a good team, but I don't
Yeah,
think.
it is baffling. I mean, I think let's try and stick to the positives of Spurs, and then I think we can kind of. I'm going to say my bit on Man United after. And you're
Yeah,
right, Nige. Like we were pressing well, we were closing them down. The combination work was really good when we kind of got it in that final third, creating chances or switching out a lot to the left. Yeah, there was so much space. Man United, they couldn't keep up with us, could they? They didn't know what hit them.
no,
I just couldn't believe what I was watching. And Man United, they were just shocking, absolutely shocking. They did have a couple of chances on the counter attack, but I mean, again, I don't want to point out the negatives, but we should have been 3 or 4 up in that first half, shouldn't we? Should have killed the game. And
yeah,
obviously, when Fernandes gets sent off, you're like, this is going to be our day, isn't it? It is going to be our day. We don't even needed that second goal that soon. But yeah, man, it was a fantastic performance from Spurs. The game plan and set them up. They were motivated. They just went to Old Trafford and thought, hell, we're just going to go for it. They're not that great. I mean, Man United, I thought they'd be a lot better than that. I was just quite shocked how poor they are. And I see a comment in the chat from Alex. So let me just bring it up quickly. It was up a minute ago. He said, it's quite interesting, I just one.
okay.
He says, I'm not taking that win too seriously as it looks like Ten Hag has lost the Man United dressing room. What's your thoughts on that?
I think he lost the dressing room last season, to be honest. I'm surprised, obviously he won the cup, that kept him in a job, but I think he looked well off it last year. So I really am surprised that he was kept on this season. I don't think he's got long left. I would give him to the end of the month at best. And I think it's likely that Ten Hag might be the first Premier League manager to be sacked. Don't know what you think.
No, it's not looking good for him. He's got a couple of tricky fixtures coming up, going to play Porto and Aston Villa away. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was thinking about it, Man United. To be honest, I don't really care about them. I don't know about you, Nige, but, good luck to them. They're in a bit of a mess. Ten Hag, he spent so much money, over, £600 million. He's got all his team now. There's not really an excuse in my eyes. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what they're doing. Maybe as Alex says, as the player's given up, it looks like it, doesn't it? It just looks like something's not right there. They should have done so much more against us, and they just let us play our game. But then I've been hearing a lot, listening to other people talking about the game, and I just think Man United were kind of like the perfect team to play against. Like they weren't going to sit in a low block. they were going to try and attack us, weren't they? So it just left the space for us to kind of, and that's when we're really good against teams who have a bit of space. So it was a kind of an ideal matchup, and plus how poor Man United's pressing was, we just had a field day.
That's it. They didn't really put us under any pressure at all, did they? They let us have the ball at the back. When it went into midfield, Maddison seemed to have an age to do what he wanted. The only time they ever seemed to really close us down is when we got the ball out wide. Well, I don't know what you think about this. Get into some player performances, and let's start with the man who's been getting a lot of stick over the last month or so, but seems to be answering his critics, and that's Brennan Johnson, 4 and 4. How do you think he played?
Well, you have to say fair play to him. I mean, he's scored 4 in 4 now. He's got a bit of confidence back. Fair play to him, and he has got a lot of criticism, a lot of stick, and we have to praise him when he plays well, and just hope it continues. I think it's a bit too early to make a kind of big judgment on Johnson. He's got to be consistent. I'm not saying score every game, but we've got to go and see him nick a goal against Brighton, or assist. He's got to kind of keep that form up. So it's a bit too early to kind of say, oh, right, like Johnson's going to be the guy now. But for him and getting them 4 goals is, you have to give your hats off to him, and you have to say well done. And I'm happy for him, and I hope it continues. We'll have to see. What about you, Nige? What's your thoughts on Johnson?
Johnson's a funny one for me because I kind of think that, and I don't know whether you agree, but I'm of an age where nearly every team in the Premier League or the old First Division or whatever, they always used to have a maverick in the side. A player they used to call a luxury player. Someone who wouldn't particularly track back, but would just give you a piece of magic and win a game that got you off your seat. A Ginola, a Hoddle. Look at Middlesbrough. They had Juninho back in the day and Emerson. Even United had like Cantona. Like all these teams had like maverick players that would just get you off your seat and get you excited. I just think football is such now that we don't have those mavericks in the game anymore. I think everything is so stat based. Everything is so positional based that it's just changed. I don't think players can express themselves anymore like they used to be able to. I'll give an example. My son, who's 20 now, when I used to take him to football training when he was 5 or 6, as a parent, he used to be like, just go and enjoy yourself. Just go and do what you want, have fun. But even then, it was very much like, no, that's your position, stick to it. Here's a bit of paper. You got to do this. You got to do that. I just think they're taking the freedom out of players. So in that sense, I'm going to get to my point in a minute. In that sense, Johnson is doing everything stat-wise that we want out of a winger. He is getting forward. He's assisting. He's scoring. If we look at Johnson just on stats, then, I mean, he's got 4 goals? How many assists he got this season? 1 or 2 already?
I don't know, but he did get an assist that game, didn't he?
Yeah, last season he had 15 GAs. So already he's got 5 or 6 GAs this season. He carries on the way he's going. He's probably by the end of the season going to have 20 GAs. And that is doing everything you want out of a player playing in a wide position. So stat-wise, he's doing everything. The problem is he doesn't get you off your seat when you watch him because he's not exciting. So yeah, I got to the point in the end. But what do you think? Is it all like? Do you think players are just seem to be regimented to a set position now and can't really express themselves like they used to?
It feels like that, doesn't it? It really does feel like. And then you're right, Johnson's not going to be the player. He's going to be. You could compare it to Ginola, Ryan Giggs, players like that. There's not that many of them about these days.
No.
So yeah, he's kind of for the system player. And again, there was space, wasn't there, in that Man United game for Johnson? There was lots of space. There, he was on the left. Dalot, he had a shocker, didn't he? And Johnson, he was getting the better of him. I was surprised. I thought Dalot would eat him up, but no, he did well, Johnson. But again, it's I mean, who we got on we got the son on the left. He can't really take on a man anymore either. But he would have done really well in that game against Man U at the weekend, wouldn't he, if he was playing? Because if
Yeah,
he had been put through on those one-on-ones, he probably would have got 2 out of the 3 at least.
yeah,
So yeah, it was a good game for the forwards. There were so many chances, so much space, and Johnson, yeah, he got his goal and assist. So yeah, fair play to him. And let's see if this form continues or it's just a purple patch.
yeah. No, I couldn't agree more. And the good thing, and I think I put it in a comment on a show earlier, is that Johnson's not only scoring, but he's getting chances as well. So he scored one, he hit the post. You know, the other week against Brentford, he scored one, he could have had a couple. So not only is he scoring, he's still getting chances. So if he can take a few more of those chances, I really think he could have a good season.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at his stats last season for Johnson, they were not bad for his first season. What really frustrated me with Johnson last year, that he wouldn't do much else though, would he? He wouldn't really be in
No,
games, and I want more from our forwards. You know what I expect for a forward playing for Tottenham Hotspur in this Ange way, in Ange system, is a player who's going to consistently attack, try and take on his man, get a cross, get a goal, get an assist, you know, on a regular basis. Because players like that will win you games. Now, don't get me wrong, Johnson has produced, isn't he, in the last couple of games? So fair play to him. So let's see if he can keep that up. But then you look at the cover with Werner. I mean, I think Werner being in our squad is holding us back as a team, because if it was another like a winger in that position, we could have scored 4, 5, 6 goals in that game against Man United easily, and really we could have smashed them up. But because of Werner, unfortunately, we didn't do that. And the thing is with Werner as well, because I've heard a lot of mixed reactions about Werner. People are really having a go at him. Other people are saying, "Oh, he played okay. He got in the positions." Yeah, it's all right getting in the positions, but you've got to finish your dinner, haven't you? You do. You have to finish your dinner, and he had 3 or 4 there. Fair enough, missed one, but he should have got the second one. If not the second one, the third one. He missed them all. I mean,
yeah,
it's I mean, I don't know what's going on with that guy. His confidence is shot. Is he a forward? Is he a winger? Don't think anyone knows anymore. He just shouldn't really be a player who we could pick. And I just hope that Ange will get frustrated with him and just putting him in the reserves and play more. Because you look when Moore came on, yeah, look at him. He's just such a talent, isn't it? And he just needs to be given a chance in the team. Do you agree with that, Nige?
yeah, absolutely. As for Werner, like I said, I kind of agree. He did well up until when he was in front of goal. And I don't know about you, but I never thought for 1 minute he was scoring any of those chances. Every time he was one-on-one, I was like, he's gonna miss. And he didn't surprise me. He's just not a goal scorer, is he? I think he's the type of striker or type of forward that will score ones that he doesn't have to think about too much. Though he does miss a lot of sitters. But I think he's more likely to score ones he doesn't have to think about. But when he's through on go against the keeper with time to think, I mean, his first one was literally straight at the keeper. The second one, I thought actually Onana made a good save, but he still should have scored. But yeah, in front of goal, not good. And as for Mikey Moore, it's just he did more in his 10 minutes than I thought Werner did the whole game. You know, that thing when he cut inside and just curled it past the post, you know, obviously when it was behind the goal, it wasn't as close as what I first thought. But, you know, that's an 18-year-old who's literally just come on, who's cutting inside and looking to curl one in the top corner from outside the box. You know, that's exactly what you want. Someone who's confident, someone who thinks he's, you know, as good as he is and will just take on shots. But yeah, what about Bergvall? He come on, obviously, at the same time as Mikey Moore. How do you think he did?
He didn't do too much. I mean, he gave the ball away. I saw. I mean, if I look at his stats, we know he weren't on that long. Well, how long did he play? 14 minutes. He had 13 attempts of the ball passes, made 10 out of 13, touches 17, made 1 tackle. I mean, he wasn't in it that long. He did have some carries, though. He had 10 carries and 1 progressive carry, 2 successful take-ons, and Yeah, you know, it's hard to judge, isn't it? I think
It
with
is.
Bergvall, I think we need to see him on Thursday. Let him have the game, and hopefully he won't have to be subbed off like last week. Let's give him the game, put some good players around him, some of the first teamers, and really let him express himself. So I think can't really say too much about him on 15 minutes. A bit unfair, isn't it?
No, yeah, he didn't get long, did he? But I mean, for me, disappointing me a little bit. Obviously, he set up the third goal with his corner, but yeah, he did give the ball away a few times. But you know, he's a young kid. Let's give him the full game in midweek and see how he does, because I'm excited by him. I think he's a really good player, and I think he's going to be one of our stars in coming years. But let's go with a star of right now. And who do you want to go with? We could go with anyone. Who do you fancy going with?
What, one of the better performance? You know, one of the
Yeah,
best performers against Man United.
yeah,
I mean, Kulu stands out, doesn't he? He created 9 chances in that game. And there was a lot of information about him that he created the most chances from a player away from home. I don't know if it's the record, but I mean, his performance was fantastic.
yeah,
He played so well, didn't he? He was everywhere. He got his goal. He was feeding balls through to Werner and some of the other forwards to score. He was fantastic. And Man United, they just didn't know what to do with him, could they? They couldn't stop him. He was unstoppable. And what I like about Kulu, he doesn't really fall over, does he? Even if he gets knocked, he gets back up. He keeps going. He's got a lot of strength in his play. And I think this about Kulusevski, I just think it's something that we could see really help us this season if he keeps playing in that position. Yeah, look, you know, let's see what happens. I mean, it could be a game changer, but it could be make a massive impact to our season in the creativity side. We're going to be coming up a lot of the low blocks again soon. So yeah, we need him. We need his creativity. You should see how he linked up. I think it was Maddison in the first half when they kind of gave a give and go. Maddison was through, tried to lob Onana, Onana saved it. But I love sort of things like that. The combinations between Maddison, Kulu, other forward players. It's something to get excited about. I've got to be honest. And a lot of people have been calling for Kulu to play in that central position all last season. And Nige has finally decided that that is his position now. If you want to call it advanced state, whatever you want, not going into the number 10. I don't know, but whatever's happening with him, he's definitely doing so well. And I mean, I want to give you some stats from him as well, Kulu.
yeah.
Like some of his data, which is interesting. He's this one for me, the carries, aggressive carries, 31. I mean, his completed passes, 35 out of 40. Some touches. He was just all over the pitch, you know. He was just so good. He looked he was just everywhere. He was just attacking, creating chances, picking up the ball. He was even picking up the ball deep. Do you remember that? There was one move where he picked it up deep. And yeah, he's just so good, and he Kulusevski at the moment, and I just hope it continues.
Yeah, no, I'll be the first to admit, at the end of last season, I would have been quite happy if Spurs had sold Kulu. But he's come in this year, and that's when he is on the right. Obviously, I just don't think he's the same player. He's come into the middle, and he is a different player. It's like a brand new signing. He is. I know what you mean. He just doesn't seem to get knocked over. He's a bit like a weeble, isn't he? He's just stays on his feet all the time. Such a good player, powerful, great passer, great engine. He just goes the whole game. He's like a Duracell bunny. He just never stops running. And yeah, he's got creativity. He knows where the net is. I mean, his goal was beautiful, like really nice finish. And yeah, I'm excited for Kulu this season.
Did you see how happy he was when he got that goal?
Yeah,
I don't know. He shouted something, didn't he, to the camera? I don't know if it was in Swedish.
I don't know.
Yeah, he passion. And just look at some of the comments, Nige, in chat.
Yeah.
Alex, Kulu for me is our best player now. He's really stepped up, and he is after rising to the next level as a player. Is Kulu coming into his prime, or is this just another false dawn? Well, I guess we'll find out. Let's hope it's not a false dawn. Alex also says about him, Kulu's work rate allows us to dominate, and he's working well with Maddison. Yeah, I agree with that. What do you think,
Yeah.
Nige?
Yeah, he is. I think, I don't know whether it's by design or by accident, but I think Ange has found his perfect midfield three. I think Kulu and Maddison together just work so well. Like you said, the way they interchange is beautiful. And yeah, I'm really excited and really looking forward to seeing what they can do this season together.
And Alex says as well, he said he wanted him to be sold. I wasn't too happy with him as well, Kulu, last season, especially on that right wing. He just didn't give us enough kind of goals, assists, contributing to games. But moving into the middle now has given him a new lease of life. But I mean, I don't know if you know Nige, but when he used to play for Parma, he used to play in the middle. So yeah, going back to his old roots, which is fantastic. And just having a look at his heat map as well. He was all over the place on the field, and very much a lot of the time just outside the box, looking to create something, looking to make something happen for the team. And you know when you see a heat map and they're everywhere, you know that just tells you it all, doesn't it? That they've had a really good performance, and really contributed to that game. And for me, Kulu was man of the match, I think.
Oh, I agree. I think he was the best player on the pitch by a long way. Obviously, Van der Ven got it because of that run and the setup for Johnson. But for the whole game, I thought Kulu was brilliant from start to finish. I think everything good that we did come from Kulu, even at start, all the pressing. Kulu seemed to, apart from Solanke, obviously started it, but Kulu in the midfield was breaking up everything. And yeah, this season's a big season for Kulu. And I think, like I said, by accident or by design, I think Ange just stumbled across his best midfield three.
And when I think about it, Nige, like when I was previewing the season, I mean, when I did some videos before the season started about what I thought we needed, and I did a lot about the kind of attacking midfield area. And I really was hoping that we would sign another kind of Maddison type player, just in case Maddison got injured, or just give us something different. And I was kind of saying, look, we really should go into that market. And I was looking at the goals from our midfielders last season. It weren't great. I mean, Kulu actually done okay. And now he's kind of, I mean, he hasn't got loads of goals. Is that his first goal this season? I think it is, isn't it?
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, so he's, it's what, game number 6. He's got to kind of grow in it. He's got to produce. We'll have to see how it goes. Let's not get too carried away yet. But we need goals from midfield. Maddison, Kulu, from them central areas to contribute to the team. So yeah, let's hope he continues his form and gets us some good results. Just finally on Kulu before we move on to somebody else. I mean, I know I've already said it, but it was like the chances. It was key passes 9, big chances created 3. It just shows you his performance was just fantastic. Yeah, wasn't it? Fair play to him.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I think he needs to. I don't think he's going to be a player that's going to be used midweeks. I think he will be in our Premier League side every week, and it'd be interesting to see what Ange does going forward for different games. Whether he just keeps playing Kulu and Maddison, or whether he drops Kulu for games or Maddison for games. It's going to be interesting. I'd like to see them now start every game that they can together, personally.
I want it to stay that way. If it's working, if we're winning, if we're dominating games, creating chances, I definitely want to see Maddison and Kulu in there. Definitely. I mean, there's not many teams in this league who are going to outpossess us. Really, are there? We might find that against Brighton on the weekend, because they're a possession-based team. That's going to be an interesting matchup. Of course, Manchester City, they may outpossess us, but I think even at the games against Man City last season, they were quite close, possession stats. So look, it's intriguing, isn't it, to see how that
It
goes,
is.
that midfield trio. We don't know what's happening with Bentancur, and I'm sure we're going to touch on him in a minute. If he's going to be banned, and we're going to see Basuma back in. But yeah, man, let's see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, let's get to Bentancur now. Obviously, Alex has said Bentancur was brilliant too. So what is going to happen when he has to serve a 6 to 12 game ban? Well, that's the interesting thing, isn't it? I think it is going to be Basuma back in. Do you see that changing the dynamics at all? And how do you think Bentancur played?
Well, Bentancur is now really starting to get into some form. Very consistent midfield player, and I'm going to give you some stats on his performance because they really need to be mentioned. His pass rate, his pass succession, was 96.3 accuracy. He completed 79 passes out of 82. He was so secure on the ball, but barely gave it away. And he was just there. Like, I mean, he's not even a defensive midfielder, but it was an excellent performance. And he looked head and shoulders above all of those Man United midfielders. And I'm talking, Casemiro when he came on, Ugarte. I think Mason Mount came on as well. Mainu, he really scored him, didn't he, Bentancur? He is an experienced player. He's played under a Juventus, such a massive club. Yeah. And it's so good to see that we're seeing the old Bentancur back. And it's such a shame it's going to get banned soon.
It seems to be the story of Bentancur's Tottenham career, doesn't it? He seems to get a run of games and then he gets injured, comes back, gets a run of games, gets injured. And now he's come back. He's got a run of games. He seems to be getting his form back. And now he's going to get banned. And you're absolutely right. It's been, we've.
Sorry, Nige. I've got to just.
Yeah, that's fine, mate.
I think my little one is just woken up.
I will keep talking. But yeah, Bentancur he always looks so comfortable on the ball. He hardly ever gives the ball away. He seems to be getting back to the form that he had, middle of last season when he just before he got injured, obviously against Leicester. He seems to be getting that form back again, and now he's going to be out. But when's he going to be out? We just don't know, do we? Is it going to be this week that he's going to get banned?
Does anybody know in the chat what's going on with Bentancur? If would be good to know.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be banned for the weekend, but it didn't seem to happen. And like I say, we're into Tuesday evening. I haven't heard anything. So whether he's going to be playing on Thursday, I would have thought he probably will, because I would think the ban will come in for the weekend, or maybe it'd be done during the international break. So maybe
there was something I heard that as well, Nige. There was something today I heard that something's going on in the international break. So maybe we'll have him till then. But it's just it's so frustrating, right? Because he's playing so well. What does Alex say here? He said, I thought it was after the Coventry game. Yeah, so did I. I thought it was as too, Alex. It wasn't my little one up, by the way. It was the dog outside the door, trundling along. Like, it looked like it was. Anyway, that's good. He's fast asleep. But yeah, back to you, Nige. Was there any other players that you wanted to focus on the Man U match? There was so many good performances, wasn't there? You could go through most of the team.
We could literally go through the whole team. I'll give a small mention to Maddison, who seems to be getting back to his best. I don't know whether you have some stats on Maddison.
Stats on Maddison, yes, I do. Maddison completed 48 passes out of 56, 85.7% passing accuracy, carries 54, high, progressive carries 3. Yeah, he was good. I mean, looking at Maddison and his performance, he was like showing like some of the last season in the first 10 games. He's really getting involved. And I think you'll probably want to go on to this, Nige, about the kind of changing system slightly with the wing back, the fullbacks not reverting so much. But something's definitely changed, because Maddison, the last couple of games, has really got involved. You can see him really making a difference to the team now. So maybe it is a kind of slight tactical thing from Ange. I'd like your take on that, and that would be good to know. Or anybody else in the chat as well who's watching, their thoughts on why Maddison is kind of picking up form now, and why is he getting more space?
Yeah, I think he definitely seems to have more space, which is only beneficial for Spurs. And I'm not sure. I think they're inverting less. They certainly seem to be inverting less against Brentford. I must admit, the United game, the first 10 minutes I was watching, the doggy seemed quite inverted, but Porro not as much so. But there's definitely been a change there somewhere. I don't know whether it's because Kulu's in the middle as well now, whether his hard work has just given Maddison that bit more space, whether it's Solanke pressing. I don't know, but definitely something's changed. And I do think the wing back or the fullbacks are not inverting as much. If you notice when Jed Spence come on, he seemed to hug the left-hand side. He didn't invert at all. He stayed really wide. So
Who's that? Sorry, Nige, who did you say?
Spence when he come on second half.
Yeah.
From what I can remember, he just seemed to like hug the touchline, and which give obviously Maddison, then he come off, then Bergvall, just so much more time on the ball. So I think something's changed there. It'd be interesting to see more of it and see whether that actually is, because I did watch the first 10 minutes and think, oh, they're not inverting that much. But I don't know. It's
I've got the heat map here.
Have
Can
you?
you get the
Go on
heat
then.
map up, Nige? I don't know if you can, but I've got it here. And Destiny, Udogi, is so
Yeah.
much more on the left.
Is it?
It's hardly inverting in that game against Man United. And
Yeah.
then if I look at Porro heat map, let me have a look at Porro's. Let's see if it's similar. Again, very much hugging that touch line. Yes, he does go in a bit. When he
Yeah.
gets to the final third, he is kind of cutting in a little bit more.
Mm.
But where it's really red on the heat map is definitely on the wings. So what a difference. So that actually kind of confirms what we were talking about, and it makes a lot of sense now. And you look at Alex's comment in the chat as well. He's saying it as well. They're not getting in Maddison's way, and
No.
Maddison is now been able to do what he needs to do and what he's good at.
He's
So
freer,
it's good
isn't he?
stuff from Ange. It's good that he's made some changes, because I was calling it out last week or the week before. I was just really calling them out to be more flexible tactically. So fair play to Ange for doing that, and the actual data and the evidence shows it.
Yeah, I think it's one of the biggest bugbears of a lot of Tottenham fans who were Ange out, is that the inverted fullbacks were just not giving Maddison any space at all. And I think 100%. They don't seem to be inverting as much. They still invert sometimes, like you say. They get in and around the box. I think Doggy had a chance in the first half as well that he put over. But yeah, they're definitely not inverting as much, which is giving Maddison and Kulu so much more time to work their magic. And yeah, suddenly from like 2 weeks ago, when I was thinking the world was over and Spurs were the worst team in the world, suddenly a couple of changes, a few tweaks, and things are looking good again.
Yeah, look, Nige, we do have to keep calm about it, not get too carried away, because we will, after we've discussed some of the players, there's something I want to say about it, how I'm feeling about it, and it'll be good to hear how you feel too. But all these signs are positive, and the result was there against Man U 3-0. We beat Brentford 3-1. We've won 4 games in a row. Forget the Coventry one, because that was a terrible game. But things are slowly starting to get better. Do you want to touch on Solanke a bit? Because I think he needs to be spoke about. And also to people in the chat about Solanke. I can see Alex is talking about him a bit.
Yeah.
Should we start with Solanke quickly? Just what's your thoughts on how he's been getting on in Spurs? He's new. He scored 3 goals in 3 games. Are you impressed? Are you happy with what you're seeing? What's your thoughts on him, Nige?
As very much as, like you say, he scored 3 in 3. There's not a lot to complain about. I think he presses really well. His work rate is exceptional. He doesn't stop running. He's got a lot of pace about him, a lot of power. And he's a fox in the box. He sniffs out chances, doesn't he? He's, every single goal he scored has not been spectacular. I fancy my chances with all three of those, but you got to be there to put it in the net, and he has been, and that's all you want from a striker. And listen, I said when we signed him, he scored 20 goals. I'm confident he will get 20. And yeah, I'm really happy. Listen, he's not Harry Kane, but who's going to be Harry Kane? I think he's a massive step up from Richarlison. And yeah, I'm really excited. I think he's a really good player. He's a good striker. He's scoring goals for Spurs, and he's only going to get better. So yeah, all good for me. What about you?
Yeah, just what Alex is saying in the chat here, going back to this comment he's made here, like, do you think that Solanke could be, I know he's just a bit different profile to Vardy, and Barnes, but do you think, over time throughout the season that really Maddison can feed Solanke and get us lots of goals, create for Solanke? And possibly, yeah.
Yeah, I don't see why not. I think obviously we're going to be playing a lot of low block teams. So I do think a lot of Solanke's goals are going to come from out wide when balls are crossed into him.
Yeah.
Balls that drop, second balls. I don't think he's going to be the sort of striker that will be on the shoulder of defenders. So I'm not sure whether Maddison will be assisting a lot. I think, like I said, I think a lot of Solanke's goals will be more just ones that fall to him, crosses that are put in. But yeah, it depends. When we play the bigger sides, obviously they won't be playing a lower block as much, so he might be able to get in. He did have a 1-on-1, didn't he, against United that he missed. But yeah, I'm confident if he keeps getting chances, he's going to score goals.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with him so far. He's scored 3 goals. He's getting involved. He's holding the ball up well. He's, I mean, the goals haven't been spectacular, but that doesn't matter. If he's scoring, you can't argue with it.
No.
He's definitely making a difference to us. He gave the Man United centre backs a hard time. He's definitely, it's a work in progress with him. Again, he's got to get used to Vange's system, got to get used to his teammates. But yeah, let's just hope he keeps going and bangs in the goals for us, because we need someone to. And at the moment, he's producing. So yeah, and another really positive thing, isn't it, Nige? Solanke, Kulu, Bentancur, Maddison. And isn't it good that we're talking about all these players in a positive way? We're talking about Ange is finally adjusting his tactics. We're winning games. Doesn't it just helps the mood and how we feel about the season? Because I'll tell you what, a couple of weeks ago, and you'll probably will remember this, when I did that video, The Road to Nowhere, where I was in a pretty like kind of depressed state of it, because I just couldn't see what was going to change. But again, don't get too carried away. I want to see it against Brighton. I want to see this. We do need to be more clinical, which I'll come to a bit more in a minute. But yeah, it's good stuff, isn't it? Really, from Spurs, some of those Spurs players.
Yeah, and there's at the moment there's nothing to complain about. Like you say, you just mentioned Solanke, Bentancur, Maddison, Kulu, Johnson as well, Van der Ven, Romero was solid. The fullbacks played well. Vicario made one hell of a save in the first half. I don't know if you can remember, just got a really strong hand to a chance. I think everyone's playing well. And we haven't even, obviously, Sonny wasn't playing. We're mentioning all these players, and we haven't mentioned probably our talisman, who's Sonny. And yes, he's not been on the greatest form so far this season. But I think when Sonny comes back in, and if he can hit the ground running,
I think there was a comment in the chat. I think it was Alex who said it. He says that we look. I think it was. Let me go back now. There was a comment. I think, who was it now, about when Son doesn't play? Yeah, it was Alex. He said this. He says, it looks like our forward line is freer without Son. The movement is much better. A really, really interesting comment, that. And I haven't thought about that. What do you think, Nige? I think he's got a point.
It is interesting. I'm not sure, to be honest.
I see what he means. I
I
get
get
it. I
it,
get what he's saying.
but
Definitely get what he's
well,
saying.
yeah. I mean, the forward line looked freer because nobody wanted to pass to Werner probably, but no, I get it. I get it, but I'd still rather have Sonny in my team. You know,
Oh, of course,
there's
you'd have him over Werner, wouldn't
yeah,
you? But
yeah,
what that kind of says, and there's another comment I'm going to read out from the ghost in the chat. Where is he now? The ghost face. Draven. He
yeah,
says maybe Johnson should go on the left when Son's not available, and then we get another winger in January. Oh well, you know, this one is. I do think we could have signed a much better quality winger instead of Wilson. Nothing against Wilson being a young player, but we should have signed a kind of ready now player. And I'm
yeah.
still going to continue to say that. And we'll see in January if Werner continues to fluff his lines, no goals or assists, that maybe they will dip into the transfer market. So it's a possibility, Draven. Good point.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely need some new faces in January. I think Alex has said our squad is thin. So, whereas it's all good at the moment, a couple of injuries, we could be in trouble. So we definitely need to buy in January. But let's see. At the moment, fingers crossed, touch wood. We haven't got too many injuries, but let's see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, just summarize the game, Nige. I think we should before we move on to our next subject. It was a really, really impressive performance, and it was fantastic. I don't know about you, but I was buzzing Monday morning, and yeah, it's just such a good feeling to go up to Old Trafford and win, because we don't win there often. We've gone there with better teams in the past and lost time and time again. And it was, we can now talk a little bit about Man United before we kind of wrap it up. We're not going to give them a lot of time, Nige, because they don't deserve it.
No,
But we
no.
can talk about it, because it is a point, and a lot of people are talking about it on social media about, oh, Spurs were only good because Man United was so bad. Should we just do that now and just get it out of the way, and then we can move on?
Yeah, I mean, I simply think that United were bad because Tottenham made them look bad. We forced them into errors. We forced them into mistakes. I don't think United were particularly bad because they were just bad. I think Spurs were so good that they made United look bad, and that's it for me, really.
Yeah, I mean, Man U were shockingly bad, and it was one, as I said already earlier, that it was probably one of the worst performances I've seen from them. In a game. Yeah, I mean, I think you have to see it as both. We have to praise our performance because we did make them look worse than they are. And
Yeah.
prior to that game, I don't think that they had a few clean sheets as well. I know they got battered by Liverpool 3-0 at home as well. But they, as you said, Nige, when you were talking about their team, they've got some really good players, haven't they? And that just doesn't add up. And is it the manager? What is it? The style of play? I don't get Ten Hag's style of play. I mean, when I've been listening to kind of Man United fans talk about it, they kind of say that Ten Hag, whenever he plays against a bigger team, he adjusts and goes more defensive and plays more on the counter. And because we got that early goal, they had to change the game plan, and then the players were lost. They were confused. They didn't know if they were pressing. They didn't know if they were defending. Yeah, they're not in a good place, Man United, and it's not looking good for them. But look, we'll see. We'll see against Brighton on Sunday, and when we come on to that game, we'll talk about it in a bit more detail. Was it just a rubbish Man United team? That's why we were so good? Or, we'll see against Brighton. Because Brighton, I tell you, they do have a style of play. We know how Brighton play, and let's see how we come up against their style of play, against our style of play. But we'll get back onto that. But let's be fair. With fantastic performance. Yes, Man United were off it, but that not taking anything away from us. We deserved it. We deserved the plaudits. Well done, Ange. Well done, the players. And let's really hope that pushes us on.
Yeah. Just to summarize and end on it. Yeah. Best performance under Ange Postecoglou since he's been out. Hands down.
That, Nige, yeah?
Your best one. best Spurs performance from, and it's literally, we've seen good performances for spells, 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there. But I would say, apart from a 10-minute spell in the second half, we literally, it's the best performance I've seen. We did not take our foot off their necks. We literally, and like you say, another day we could have had 7 or 8, and that's not even exaggerating. There were 4 1-on-1s in that game. Johnson hit a post. We scored 3 anyway. It could have been 7 or 8. So easily the best performance.
Does that worry you, Nige, about the clinicalness still? Because we do, like against Brentford, we needed a lot of chances to get it over the line, and it kind of happened again against Man United, didn't it? Do you think that's something that these players can improve on? Do you think that we are going to get more clinical? Is it possible with this set of players? Or it's a really hard one to kind of make a call on it,
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm only talking about on Sunday's game. It's hard when you've got Werner in your team.
Yeah.
Because
But it weren't just him, though, Nige, was it?
It wasn't
we got
just
that
him,
second goal, it was all the players. Doggy missed, Maddison missed. Who else missed? Brendan Johnson missed. He hit the post. It was a fantastic shot.
That's what I mean. It's thin lines, isn't it? I mean, Brendan Johnson was unlucky that basically hit the inside of the post. Maddison, when he was 1-on-1, he tried to lift the keeper like he did against Brentford. The keeper made a good save, to be fair. Yeah, I think it is a concern that we're not taking our chances, but I don't think we can overly criticize when we've just smashed United 3-0.
Yeah, and I don't want to criticise Nige. I don't. I just think that I feel 1 week like the clinicalness is a problem and it's going to come back and bite us in the bum. Then we see that result against Man United and you think, whoa, that was very impressive. But the same pattern is there. And let's just hope against Brighton, because we will get chances to get against Brighton.
God, yeah.
I'm sure we will. But we're not going to get as many as we did against Manchester United. I can tell you that much, because Brighton won't give up the ball nowhere near as Man United did on Sunday. So that means the chances are going to be less. That means we're going to need to be more clinical. And I hope we are. And I hope that the combinations and what we're seeing with the inverted fullbacks, not inverting, going more to the width, Maddison getting the space and Kulu, and Solanke on a bit of form, Johnson's on a bit of form. Hopefully Son's back on the left, that really we could, kind of start to do the doubters. I mean, I'm the doubter as well, and just hope that we're wrong and that it doesn't go into a game where we have all the chances and then Brighton score and it's kind of like a lost opportunity. You hear what I mean, Nige?
Yeah, and we can only go game by game, I guess, can't we? Brighton's going to be a really interesting game because they were absolutely battered against Chelsea. Brighton played that high line against Chelsea and were destroyed. Chelsea could have had, again, a bit like Spurs, they could have had 7 or 8. So it's going to be really interesting to see if Brighton play that high line. And if they do, it's going to be really interesting to see Spurs play the high line. And I can see the Brighton Spurs game being pretty condensed in the middle of the park. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting, but we'll get to that in a minute. We'll quickly go over the Europa League game because that is kind of sandwiched in between the Brighton game. What are you thinking for it? Do you think there'll be many changes?
Well, I think we're going to see similar to we did last week against carrier bag.
Yeah.
It's going to be similar. We're going to see Spence coming in on the left. The doggy's injured anyway, and he's not back till the weekend. Is Romero's ban over now, or is he still banned?
I don't know, to be honest, but Spence is not in the Europa League squad, is he?
Of course. So, my mistake there. So
it's going to be interesting.
So who played left back?
Doggy played left back, didn't he? I think
he did. And then didn't he come off at half time?
Possibly.
So who's going to play left? Ben Davies probably.
It will be. Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting, isn't it? Because that if Ben Davis goes left with Dragic out, that means we're going to have to play Van der Ven and Romero if Romero's ban is over.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see, or he might just chuck some kids in. I don't know.
You know that young centre back's fit again now.
Dorrington, is he?
Yeah, maybe him will come and play or get involved on the bench.
It's a big call, I suppose. I mean,
not a lot of options, is there?
No, he could put Archie Gray there. Played there in pre-season, didn't he? So I guess he could play Archie Gray centre back. But then we haven't got a right back. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. It's going to be an interesting team selection.
I can't say I know much about this Hungarian team. I know they're the champions. Budapest, no. Lovely city. Have you ever been, Nige?
I haven't, no.
I went there this year. So yeah, really nice place to go. Yeah, lovely city. But yeah, back to the football. Yeah, I think it's a game where we have to play it like any other game. Yeah, if we go in the attitude that this is going to be easy, then we'll it won't help us. So we've got to take the game seriously. We've got to have a strongish lineup. Yeah, make some changes. I think Basuma will come in. I think we'll see Bergvall, Gray. I think they'll stick with Solanke up front while he's got that momentum. And also Lancashire's back, isn't he? I think he's back. So maybe he'll get some minutes. So it's like what you say, Nige. When you say you say this quite a lot when we do our shows. It's that get a strongest team, win the game, and then make the subs. Yeah. Sensible thing to do, isn't it? Get the game won and then make all the changes.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would do. But it's a difficult one, isn't it? I think the way you got to look at it is we got an international break coming up. So let's just play the best side for the next two games. And, I'm not thinking about international teams. I don't care about international teams. So yeah, play your strongest side you can Thursday, play the strongest side you can Sunday, and
then is it the international break then, Nige?
Yeah. And then, let the international break take over and, hopefully we might have a couple of knocks and they can pull out of the internationals, because I'd much rather our players weren't playing in them, to be honest.
There's a couple of comments from Alex. He says about Dorrington is back. He thinks that he's good enough to come on and make a difference. I can't say I have seen Dorrington play, but obviously I hear a lot of good stuff about him. I mean, last season they were kind of comparing who's better, Phillips or Dorrington. Yeah, well, I think he should be on the bench, get involved. And then Alex has said also, Hungary were the best team in the world for about 20 years. Back in the old days.
They were.
Were they?
They were, yeah. I remember those days.
Oh, okay. The national team, of course.
Yeah.
Sorry, not the club team. Yeah. You're right there. Yeah, they were. What else does Alex says? He says Hungary's basically a white Caucasian nation, but when I was a wee lad, I thought it was the nation where all the monsters lived. Did you get that one?
No. No.
Sorry, Alex. Maybe I'm just a bit tired.
I don't know. Yeah, go on.
And then Draven, where will it lead us from here? You can't say we're satisfied, Angie. You can't say we're never tired, Angie. Where will it lead us from there? Is this a song?
I was going to say, I feel like I need to break into chorus or something.
Alex, you know that song? I don't know. I don't know it. Angie. What is that? Rod Stewart? No, I don't know.
I don't know.
Just tell us, please. Draven, tell us. We want to know what you mean there. Yeah. So back to
yeah.
Throw me a bit, Nige. Yeah. Oh dear.
Oh, got it. Yes.
Got it. Thought Hungary was where Dracula. Oh, okay. Yeah. Thanks, Alex, for enlightening us with that.
It is where Dracula lives, isn't it?
Transylvania.
Is that not like Hungary way? Kind of. I don't know.
A history lesson. We're only good at history at school, Nige.
No, it's rubbish.
Yeah, I don't think I've done that great either.
Right.
Oh, here we go. We got the answer. Angie, yeah, of course. The Rolling
The Rolling
Stones.
Stones,
You're
yeah.
not Rolling Stones fan, Nige?
No, they were a little bit before my time. I'm never really a Stones fan. I was yeah, like I say, as you can tell by the music, I'm a bit more of a pop punk kind of guy.
Who do you like? What bands?
I like bands like Simple Plan, Bowling for Soup, State Champs, Blink 182, all that
Yeah,
kind of
I
thing.
know them. I know
I
Blink
think
182.
I think I was a secret emo, but I kind of missed the emo stage because I was too busy having children. But yeah.
Green
If I
Day,
could,
does that come under them or
oh
not?
yeah, Green Day, yeah, they're good. Yeah, like all that kind of thing. What about you? Are you a bit more eclectic?
Oh, my range of music is such a range. I like a lot of stuff. Yeah, we'll probably have to do a separate stream on that one. A
Yeah, I
music
tell you what.
music one.
Yeah, I tell you what. As I've got older, I've started to get into country as well. I
Have
like
you?
a bit of country. Yeah, it's quite
What, a bit
good.
of oh, what's that guy's name? Johnny Cash.
Yeah, and the newer ones as well. The newer like artists, but a bit of Dolly Parton's all right.
Bit of Dolly Parton. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair play, man. Whatever you like. Western musics. Yeah. Well, I'll have to link you in with somebody now you've told me that. I'll tell you
Okay.
off stream.
All right. But yeah, okay. Let's get back to football.
Back to the football. Yeah. Oh, there's a couple
Okay,
more
so
here. Sorry, let's just get them
that's
done.
all right. Yeah.
Sorry, Nige. Idlewood from Scotland were brilliant. You know them?
Nope. My
And
music taste.
the Open Band from up north were brilliant. Can't say I know
Yeah.
them, Alex, but
I need to
you
get
know.
on Spotify.
And then
Evening,
we've got
Jose.
Hotel. Good evening. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, back to the football night. Sorry, we got us distracted there
We
by the
did,
Draven.
yeah.
That was Draven's fault.
I
Getting us
could
down the
talk
music
about
talk.
I could talk about music all night, but yeah. So Thursday, we're looking at basically we just don't know what the team's going to be, do we? Because defensively, we got issues with Dragic out, with Spence not being in the squad. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'll be surprised if players like Madison start. I think Madison may be on the bench. But yeah, let's go as strong as we can, win the game, and get back to the UK with 3 points in the bag.
Would you say same lineup as last week?
I would say pretty much, yeah. Obviously, we need to find a replacement for Dragic, and hopefully Romero will be back. I don't think Van der Ven will play. I'd be surprised if he's in the team. But yeah, I think it's going to be pretty much the same side as last week. With someone coming in at centre half.
Yeah, and do you predict a win?
I think you got to be looking to win these games, haven't you? I mean, I'm looking at the teams that we've got in it, and the only teams I'm looking at, I think, that could be a tough game, is like Roma, Rangers away. Other than that, you've got to fancy us to win every game.
Yeah, I think it's a must-win game. We need the 3 points. And people
Yeah.
in the chat, are you all expecting a win? Let us know.
It's like I said, I don't want to be getting to 6 games down and us having to win win one and draw one of our last 2 games to qualify. Let's qualify early, get it done after 5 games, win all 5. And then, if we need to rest players, then we can rest them for the last couple of games. That's absolutely no surprise that Celtic have been hammered by Dortmund. Didn't put them on my fixed odds, which is disappointing.
Wow, that is a beating. That is.
It is.
What a beating, because I thought Celtic have not been playing too bad. 7-1 now.
Jesus.
Cool. That's a hammer in Brendan Rodgers, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, so this game, I mean, because we're playing on the Sunday, aren't we, against Brighton 4:30. We got to travel back from Hungary. I mean, if I remember the flight to Hungary, I think it's like maybe 2.5, 3 hours.
Yeah.
So that's going to affect the team. I mean, there's a lot said about when people fly, the players fly and they say, oh, it's not right, they're flying, it's going to impact their next game. I mean, they do fly in very quite comfy seats.
Yeah,
I just find that a bit of a, I don't really have that at all. They should be just relaxing on that flight, get home, get to bed, get to training the next day. I don't foresee that as a big excuse for us not performing at the weekend. Don't get me wrong, we can't play all the first teamers. We do need to keep some back, but we do need to have enough in there to win us the game and keep the momentum going into Sunday.
Yeah, the only thing I will say about obviously going away in the Europa League is, for whatever reason, our form away in the Europa League is absolutely horrid. I don't know whether you can remember previous Europa League campaigns, but we are so bad away from home. So I'm hoping that changes this season. Like I say, get
You're
out
right.
there, get the job done, and bring home 3 points.
Yes, Ange's first journey into Europe with us. He started off with a win with 10 men, 3-0. Let's see if it continues. Let's hope so.
Absolutely.
Getting the results here now. We got quite lucky here. We got the results because we're not watching it. We're
Right.
getting the results in here. It's always nice to see what's going on. I mean, we're not happy with Arsenal winning 2-0 against PSG, but yeah, I think they expected to beat them.
I don't mind Arsenal doing quite well early doors in the Champions League. It kind of might take their mind off of the Premier League a little bit. Probably not, but yeah, the further they go in that, the better. In fact, it'd be nice to see them get to a final and then get absolutely mullered. Arsenal tears is always good.
Yeah, I don't want them anywhere near a final. I couldn't. It's too close then to win it, isn't it?
Well,
yeah. But these group stages, all the league format now in the Champions League, there's so many games now, and they just it doesn't really get going now until the knockouts.
No, there's going to be a lot of dead rubbers, isn't there, in both Champions League and the Europa League. I think by game 5 or 6, there'd be so many dead rubbers that it'd be a bit of a waste of time.
Another comment here on the game by Draven. I think we will be hungry for a win on Thursday. Ha ha ha.
Nice. I like what you've done.
That's a funny joke. Fair play, Draven.
But yeah,
anything else to say about it? Not really. Not too much.
Not
Don't
really.
know much about them.
No, it's just get out there, get it done, and get back.
I like this comment with Alex here. Look, Arsenal are really starting to look like a typical top Italian team. I don't know if you've seen the game, Alex, or is that how it's been? Is it just been Arsenal sitting back and soaking it all up and hitting them on the break? Cool. We've got the Champions League night here down in Beyond the Lane. Champions League results. Napoli are flying under Conte.
Who needs Jeff Stelling?
I mean, Nige, I think you'll be a good commentator because I saw your video and I thought you were like a Jonathan Pierce. There you were.
Yeah, my voice does tend to go a little bit higher, and I do tend to scream a bit. But I think I'd probably swear too much to be on TV.
Could you think you could do it, commentator, if the job came in?
No, I always wanted to be when I was a kid was like a football commentator. I don't know whether you were the same, but the amount of hours I lost in my room playing like Football Manager and commentating was unreal.
We've all been there. Definitely, I used to do the same.
Those were the days.
Right. What next, Nige? Where are we going?
We can quickly go to the Brighton game and then pretty much finish up, I think.
Okay.
So Brighton away Sunday. Is it 4:30? Does that mean we're on Sky?
Yeah, we are.
Oh, nice. We've been on TV a lot this season.
Double check that. Yeah, Sky Sports main event.
Nice.
What do you think of Brighton so far this season, Nige? Have you seen much of them?
Yeah, I've seen a bit. I think they're quite hit and miss, to be honest. I think they play expansive football, but a lot like Spurs, they have an incredibly high line. They take a lot of risks, and I don't think they've quite got going yet. I don't know. This is a funny one for me because sometimes I watch Brighton and I'm like, oh, they are so good. And other times, I'm just like, they are so open. So it's very much like Spurs. I think they play in a similar way to us. And yeah, exactly as Alex said, that Chelsea got in behind Brighton very easily. I think this is going to be a really interesting game. I do think Spurs have kind of hopefully worked out the way they play. I think Spurs now, Ange's been there, like I say, 15, 16 months. I think he's getting his ideas across. I think the team are taking notice. I think we're starting to play how Ange wants us to play. Don't think Brighton are quite there yet. So I do think Brighton are there for the taking. I think this is probably one of the better chances we have of beating them. I don't know how you feel.
Yeah, I'm interested to know what's changed since their new manager's come in, because it obviously tailed off a bit last season for Brighton last year under De Zerbi, and then he left. I don't know. I've got to be honest, I haven't seen a lot of them. What is the difference under this new young manager? If any different? I mean, we'll find out on Sunday. I mean, the results this season are a bit indifferent. So they started off with, let's have a look at the results now. They got a 3-0 win at Everton the first day of the season. Then they beat Man United at home 2-1 with a late goal, if you can remember that one.
Yeah.
One in the Carabao Cup 4-0 against Crawley. What a good result at Arsenal 1-1. I mean, Arsenal went down to 10 men. Then they drew to Ipswich, beat Wolves in the Carabao Cup again 3-2, drew at home to Forest, and then got smashed against Chelsea. So, yeah, let's see. Alex has come up here. Well, Ferguson is starting to fade away. He was supposed to be Brighton's Kane. Yeah, he has gone all quiet, isn't he? He's not even getting in the team.
No.
Ferguson. Don't know what's going on with him. He's still young though, isn't he? Maybe needed to go out on loan.
Yeah. But if you look at Brighton's results, I mean, obviously they beat Everton 3-0 opening day, but Everton were down to 10 men. I know Brighton were in front anyway. The Arsenal game, they drew 1-1. Arsenal were down to 10 men for most of the second half.
Yeah.
And to be fair, Arsenal were in control of that game until Rice got sent off. I just think, even against United when they beat them 2-1, I think that was a game that could have gone either way. Against Forest, I think Forest missed a couple of really good chances to win the game before they went down to 10 men. So, yeah, I don't think Brighton have hit their straps yet. I think this is a really good time to play them. And I know Brighton are at home. It'll be a tough game, don't get me wrong, and they will get chances against us. But I just think the way we're playing, I can't see anything but Spurs victory.
Really? You're that confident?
Yeah, I really am. I don't know whether it's just that United game has gone to my head and I'm starting to get, think, maybe we're going to do better than we are. But yeah, but just thinking about Brighton today and the way they played and the results they've had, I think maybe if they hadn't have gone to Chelsea and played as bad as they did, I might think differently, because I actually thought they'd get a result against Chelsea, but they absolutely got blown away. So I really feel that, yeah, we've got an excellent chance of winning the game. I'll be disappointed if we don't get 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it and you look at their results and the circumstances about some of those wins, playing teams with 10 men,
yeah,
the new manager, I'm surely it's going to take a bit of time for the players to get used to his system. Now, Brighton normally have a good home record. I mean, it tailed off a bit last season. They lost a lot of home games, but against the bigger sides like the likes of City, Liverpool, they lost at home to Arsenal and Chelsea as well. So this season they haven't lost at home. They got a draw. Nottingham Forest managed to get a draw there, and then again Nottingham Forest with 10 men as well. So I think if you think about it and you weigh it all up, Brighton, they do have some really good players. I like Matoma, Joel Pedro. I like up front. They've got some talented players, Brighton, and even Welbeck, he's still putting them away. Very experienced Premier League striker. They can cause you some problems, but if you went player to player with Spurs, you would say we've definitely got a better team on the whole, especially in the defence. And then we play kind of a similar style. we should prevail. But Brighton will be up for it. Their fans will be up for it. It's a big game for them, and they're going to go for it. And again, it's just going to come down to us being clinical enough, and who's going to get caught out with the high line the most.
I think Alex makes a really good point that you just brought up, that I think it is imperative that Bentancur plays this game if he isn't banned, because we need a calm head in the middle of the park. And I think Bentancur's that. I think if Basuma's playing against his old club, Basuma for me just loses concentration too much. He is likely to get booked or sent off. For me, I'm hoping Bentancur doesn't get his ban until after this game, because I think it's imperative that he plays.
I agree. Bentancur definitely should be starting. And Alex is right. We do have to be a bit more cautiously defensively, because Brighton will attack us. And but look, I think it's a game we can win. I think we can, if we can continue the form going into that game. Confidence, just take the game to Brighton. Do you remember the game last year, Nige, where we were like 4-0 down? It was so bad. And if you think back now, can you remember the circumstances around that game?
I can't, no. I can remember the game because we were absolutely diabolical, but somehow nearly got something out of it in the end, because I think Højbjerg hit the post with like 3 minutes to go, which would have made it 4-3. We didn't deserve anything out of the game. We got absolutely outclassed on the day. But do you remember the circumstances?
Yeah, I do. So obviously it wasn't not too long after the, so we had that Chelsea thing where it all went wrong. We got the suspensions and the injuries. Then we went on a bit of a bad run where we lost like 4 in a row. I think in between that, there was like a Man City draw. Then we kind of picked up a little bit. We got a result away to Nottingham Forest, got another win, I think, against Everton. And it was in the Christmas period between Boxing Day and the New Year. And I just think with the level of suspensions and injuries to key players, it just caught up with us. And that day, Brighton were on it and punished us as well. They scored some really good goals that day. Remember that there was a screamer, I think, from the left back. I can't pronounce his name, Espen or someone.
Espen, I know what you mean.
You know what I mean. And we really got outplayed. So this game now on Sunday, we got almost fully fit team. We're in form. The players are playing with some confidence. Answer's adapting a bit with his tactics. So let's go for the win. And you're very confident, Nige, and it's making me feel more confident. Plus, when we looked at their results so far, why not? We should be expecting to win. Maybe not expecting, but we should definitely have a good chance.
I think so. Yeah. This is my son. Hello, Charlie. All right, mate.
Hello, Charlie. How you doing? Hope you're okay, mate.
But pretty confident ahead of Brighton. When we're confident and the street were pretty hard to beat. Just thinking back to the start of the season, even with Sun out, I see it's beating them. Yeah, I agree. Didn't Brighton have 2 penalties last season as well against us?
I think you're right. They did.
I think they had 2 penalties, and that Espan, whatever his name is, couldn't hit a barn door with a banjo, and he pulls one of them out, and it's just like a typical. But I just can't see Brighton doing that against us. This is the most confident I've been this season, which probably will mean it will bite me on the bum. But I'm really confident. I don't think Brighton have hit their straps at all. Don't get me wrong; they will cause us problems, but I think we're causing more problems. And I think the way we're playing at the moment, I just can't see anything other than Spurs victory. I'll be really disappointed and annoyed if we don't win.
I think I lost you, Nige. You're frozen.
Have I? Am I back?
Come back. You're leaving me all alone.
No, I'm very much still there.
We'll wait until Nige comes back. But Nige is very confident. I mean, I'm not so confident, but I do think we've got a very good chance of winning that game, and I really expect us to keep this form going, keep on the momentum, get another win, and then it's the international break, and then after that we play West Ham at home. So we've got to do it. We've got to do it. We've got to keep proving the doubters wrong. Myself, I'm a Dow.
And we have lost him. Oh dear. So it's just me. Hiya. Yeah, as we were saying about the Brighton game, I think there is no doubt I am expecting a Spurs victory. What has Chonky had to say? The form Dom and Johnson are in as well. Sees yeah, I totally agree.
No, I just
He's
don't know what
back.
happened there. I got thrown out.
Yeah, no, I think it was you that must have been, because I was always here. I was like, hi, I'm here.
I was
And
just
you were like,
talking to myself.
Nige just gone. And I'm like, I'm not, I'm here.
I mean, that's going to be funny when I watch it back.
But yeah, and then you started.
I was talking to myself for like a couple of minutes.
I could hear you, and then slowly you started pixelating. I'm like, is it me or is it him?
You
And then
froze.
he just went.
To me, you froze. You were like this, and then you disappeared. So I thought I don't know what happened. But anyway, we're back.
We are back for the last couple of minutes. But yeah, so you're expecting a Spurs win as well?
I don't expect it, but we should win. We should win if this kind of upturn in form and performances is real, and that it's we continue. And I think to kind of wrap it up, and I'm going to give my say on how I feel about Spurs and right now, and the performances recently, and the feeling how I've got. And Nige, please, you can do the same. I just think that it all goes back to that being clinical. Yeah. I mean, you look at the defence at the moment, we've got the second best defensive record in the league, which is positive. The set pieces are improving. There's only one set piece we've conceded. I've heard we got that Montgomery working on attacking and defending set pieces. So I think he is making a difference. So now we're kind of focusing in now on being clinical. And the spotlight's on that for me still. And I'm the sort of person, I need to see it. Yeah, I need to see it. And then I can start believing it. One win against a useless Man United team is not there yet. I need to see it against Brighton. I need to see it against West Ham. And like we were saying the other week, we need to build a good run, 5, 6, 7 wins. The odd draw's fine in there. Even an odd loss is okay. But we just need to get that consistency into the team and really start going on a run now and building up confidence. And then I can start to say, well, maybe this season we can do a bit better than what I thought. Because you've got to remember, Nige, the other week I just scored us a mid-table team.
I think we were all there a couple of weeks ago. And that's why for me, that Coventry win, as bad as we were, was so important. Because we lose that, and I think we are talking a totally different game now. I think that was a really important result for us. As for me, I agree with you. I'm not getting too ahead of myself. We are playing really well. We're playing some good football. But I want to see it 10, 15, 20 games in, not just, 5 or 6. Let's see where we are, 20 games. Let's see the form. Let's see if we're keeping the consistency, winning games. Like you say, the odd defeat's fine. But if we're winning 4 out of 6, winning 4, drawing 1, losing 1, I'm quite happy with that. It's all about consistency now.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Yeah, that's exactly where I am. But I think we've pretty much come to the end of the show.
No, it's been fun, Nige. I've really enjoyed it. I think it's been a really good show, and thank you for everybody who's watched and got involved with the comments. It really kept it interesting. So big up to all you guys, and big up to you, Nige, as well, hosting today. Yeah, it was really good. Really enjoyed it, and I'll be looking forward to our show next week.
Yeah, no, and to you, mate. I've really enjoyed it too, and you made some really good points. And again, thank you to everyone in the chat. It's been one of those where people dipped in and out, but that's all good. We appreciate anyone who comes to watch, even if it's for 5 or 10 minutes. Is all good. So we will be back same time next week on Dan's channel. Hopefully be streaming over to my channel as well. And as always, stay positive, stay poised, stay Spurs.